Before Andrei Tarkovsky created cinema's most profound meditation on memory and consciousness, Solaris was deemed unfilmable by Soviet authorities who couldn't comprehend its philosophical complexity. The cast has finally revealed secrets that will transform your understanding of this haunting masterpiece about the most mysterious planet in cinema history. The film that almost destroyed Tarkovsky's career. What most fans don't realize is that Solaris nearly ended Andrei Tarkovsky's directing career before it truly began. Soviet film authorities were horrified by his 3-hour philosophical epic, demanding massive cuts and threatening to shelve the project entirely for being too intellectual and anti-Soviet. Donatas Banionis, who played psychologist Chris Kelvin, revealed the political tensions surrounding production. The censors wanted a traditional science fiction adventure, something that would compete with Stanley Kubrick's 2001. Instead, Andrei gave them a deeply personal meditation on grief and memory. The film's introspective nature clashed with Soviet expectations for triumphant space exploration stories. Natalia Bondarchuk disclosed that Tarkovsky fought constantly with studio executives. Andrei refused to add action sequences or simplify the philosophical elements. He told them that if they wanted entertainment, they should find another director. The final film was approved only after intense political negotiations. Tarkovsky later admitted that making Solaris under Soviet bureaucracy nearly convinced him to abandon filmmaking entirely. They wanted propaganda disguised as science fiction. I gave them poetry disguised as cinema, he reflected. The ocean planet that became a character. The sentient ocean of Solaris wasn't created through special effects. It was achieved using revolutionary practical techniques that required the cast to perform opposite an invisible, ever-changing presence. What the actors revealed about working with this liquid consciousness shows how Tarkovsky made the impossible seem tangible. Donatas Banionis described the psychological challenge of acting opposite the ocean. Andrei would describe this vast thinking presence that could read our deepest memories and fears. We had to believe in something that existed only in his imagination and make the audience believe in it too. The ocean's creations, the mysterious formations that appeared on its surface, were filmed using liquids, chemicals, and paint mixed in glass tanks. Tarkovsky spent months experimenting with different substances to achieve the organic, flowing movements. Vladislav Dvoretsky revealed that the ocean's presence was enhanced through sound design. We would hear these deep, rhythmic sounds during filming that represented the ocean's breathing. It created an atmosphere where you genuinely felt watched by something incomprehensible. The ocean's ability to materialize human memories became the film's central metaphor for how consciousness creates reality through the power of emotional memory. The visitors that challenged reality. The most disturbing element of Solaris involves the visitors, perfect recreations of deceased loved ones materialized by the ocean from the crew's memories. What Natalia Bondarchuk revealed about playing Hari, Kelvin's dead wife brought back to life, shows how Tarkovsky explored the difference between memory and reality. Bondarchuk disclosed her complex preparation for the role. I wasn't just playing a woman. I was playing a memory of a woman, filtered through guilt and idealization. Hari exists only as Kelvin remembers her, which means she's both perfectly real and completely artificial. This philosophical complexity required a performance that existed between life and death. The visitors' inability to exist away from their creators created genuine claustrophobia on set. Andrei wanted us to feel trapped by these manifestations of memory, noted Donatas Banionis. The visitors represent how we become prisoners of our own guilt and longing. The most chilling aspect was the visitors' gradual realization of their artificial nature. Hari slowly understands that she's not real, but her emotions are genuine, Bondarchuk explained. This creates a tragic paradox: artificial beings who suffer real pain. The visitors became metaphors for how memory can both preserve and torture the living. Tarkovsky's mirror of human consciousness. What elevates Solaris beyond typical science fiction is how Tarkovsky used the alien ocean as a mirror to reflect human psychology rather than explore outer space. The cast's insights into this deeper meaning reveal how the film functions as psychological horror disguised as cosmic adventure. Anatoly Solonitsyn, who played Dr. Sartorius, revealed Tarkovsky's central metaphor. The ocean doesn't just read minds. It reflects our capacity for self-deception and denial. Every character faces their own psychological demons materialized by an alien intelligence they can't comprehend. The film's extended Earth sequences weren't padding. They were essential to understanding the characters' emotional states. Andrei wanted audiences to understand what Kelvin was leaving behind before showing what he found in space, Banyonis noted. The traffic jams and urban chaos represent the psychological noise that follows us everywhere. Tarkovsky deliberately avoided explaining the ocean's nature or origins. The mystery isn't meant to be solved, Solonitsyn explained. The ocean represents everything unknowable about consciousness, memory, and death. Some questions are more powerful when left unanswered. The library that contained infinity. The space station's vast library wasn't just a set piece. It was Tarkovsky's symbol for humanity's futile attempt to understand the incomprehensible through rational knowledge. What the cast revealed about filming in this literary labyrinth shows how books became another character in the story. Vladislav Dvorjetsky disclosed that the library contained real scientific texts about oceanography, psychology, and consciousness. Andrei filled those shelves with actual research about human perception and memory. He wanted the actors to feel surrounded by humanity's collective attempt to understand itself. The library's circular design created a sense of endless searching without resolution. We would walk through those stacks for hours during filming, noted Anatoly Solonitsyn. It felt like being trapped in human knowledge, surrounded by answers that don't actually answer anything. The famous scene where Kelvin burns scientific papers wasn't just dramatic gesture. It represented abandoning rational analysis in favor of emotional truth. Those burning pages symbolize the limitations of intellectual understanding when confronting the mysteries of consciousness and love, Banyonis explained. The library became a tomb for failed human attempts to categorize the infinite. The water that became spiritual. Throughout Solaris, water appears as a recurring motif that connects Earth and the alien ocean. But what the cast revealed about Tarkovsky's obsession with aquatic imagery shows how this element became the film's spiritual foundation. Every water scene was meticulously planned to represent different states of consciousness and memory. Natalia Bondarchuk disclosed that Tarkovsky spent days filming simple water movements. Andrei would film raindrops, streams, and puddles for hours, searching for the perfect visual metaphor for thought and emotion. He believed water represented the flow of consciousness itself. The underwater sequences where Kelvin floats in the ocean weren't just visual spectacle, they represented psychological submersion into memory. Floating in that water felt like being dissolved into pure thought, Banyonis revealed. Andrei wanted the physical sensation of weightlessness to mirror the mental state of losing yourself in memory. The film's most powerful water imagery occurs during Kelvin's final return to Earth, where rain falls inside his father's house. That impossible rain represents the breakdown between reality and memory, Bondarchuk noted. Kelvin has become so immersed in the ocean's reality that he can no longer distinguish between what's real and what's remembered. Water became Tarkovsky's visual language for the fluid nature of consciousness. The philosophy that divided critics, Solaris presented philosophical concepts so complex that many critics initially dismissed it as pretentious art house cinema. But what the cast revealed about Tarkovsky's intellectual influences shows how the film operates as genuine philosophical discourse disguised as science fiction entertainment. Donatas Banyonis disclosed that Tarkovsky required the cast to read works by Henry Bergson and Carl Jung. Andrei wanted us to understand memory not as simple recall, but as creative reconstruction. Every time we remember something, we change it slightly. This understanding informed how the actors portrayed characters haunted by imperfect memories. The film's central question, whether love can exist without the beloved's physical presence, challenged audiences' assumptions about the nature of emotional connection. Kelvin's relationship with Hari forces us to ask whether we love people or just our memories of them, noted Natalia Bondarchuk. Anatoly Solzhenitsyn revealed that Tarkovsky viewed the ocean as representing the unconscious mind. The alien intelligence isn't really alien. It's the parts of ourselves we don't understand. The ocean shows us that consciousness itself is the ultimate mystery. The ending that redefined Homecoming. The film's controversial conclusion, where Kelvin appears to return to his father's house only to discover he's still on Solaris, represents one of cinema's most profound meditations on the impossibility of true homecoming. What the cast revealed about filming this ambiguous ending shows how Tarkovsky questioned the very nature of reality and belonging. Donatas Banionis disclosed the emotional complexity of the final scene. Andrei told me that Kelvin hasn't returned home. He's been given the ocean's interpretation of home, filtered through memory and guilt. It's simultaneously the most comforting and most terrifying possible ending. The impossible rain falling inside the house wasn't a continuity error. It was deliberate symbolism. That rain proves Kelvin is still on Solaris, revealed Anatoly Solzhenitsyn. The ocean has created a perfect simulation of home, but perfection itself reveals its artificiality. Tarkovsky's decision to end with this ambiguous homecoming reflected his belief that we can never truly return to the past. The film suggests that all attempts to recapture lost happiness are ultimately illusions, Banionis noted. But perhaps beautiful illusions are preferable to harsh reality. The ending transforms the entire film into a question about the nature of authentic experience, the legacy that transcended Soviet cinema. 52 years after its release, Solaris continues influencing filmmakers, philosophers, and scientists exploring consciousness, memory, and the nature of reality. The cast's reflections on this cultural impact reveal how Tarkovsky's vision transcended both Soviet censorship and genre limitations to become universal art. Natalia Bondarchuk noted the film's influence on contemporary neuroscience. Researchers studying memory and consciousness reference Solaris when discussing how the brain reconstructs rather than simply recalls experiences. Andrei's insights about memory have proven scientifically accurate. The film's approach to science fiction as psychological exploration rather than technological adventure influenced countless subsequent filmmakers. Andrei proved that the most alien territory isn't outer space, it's inner space, observed Donatas Banionis. Anatoly Solzhenitsyn emphasized the film's philosophical legacy. Solaris asks questions about consciousness and reality that become more relevant as virtual reality and artificial intelligence advance. The ocean's ability to materialize thoughts feels less like fantasy and more like prophecy. The film's meditation on grief, memory, and the impossibility of perfect love continues resonating with audiences facing loss and longing, proving that great art addresses eternal human concerns rather than temporary cultural moments. Solaris remains cinema's most profound exploration of consciousness, memory, and the mysterious nature of love itself. Tarkovsky's masterpiece proves that science fiction can address the deepest philosophical questions while creating genuinely transcendent cinematic experiences that challenge our understanding of reality. Watch the film again with appreciation for its revolutionary approach to narrative, its profound philosophical depth, and its influence on both cinema and scientific thought. Notice how Tarkovsky uses time, water, and memory to create a meditation on human consciousness that feels more relevant with each viewing. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into cinema's greatest philosophical achievements. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads, and let us know in the comments what you think the ocean truly represents. The mystery endures.